Hello everyone, welcome back to our English class. Do you remember what we learned in the previous class? In the previous class, we learned the poem If. If is a didactic poem. The poet advises his son to become a perfect man. The central theme of the poem is also the qualities of greatness or the traits of a perfect man. The speaker here is a father. He is speaking to his son about the qualities that are needed to become a successful man or a perfect man. The theme is attainment of perfection. So many conditions have to be fulfilled if one is to become a perfect man. He should not lose his head even when others around him have lost theirs. He has to trust himself when all people doubt him. He should wait and shouldn't be tired of waiting. He should show patience. When people tell him lies, he should not follow their example. He should follow truthfulness. People may hate him, but he should not hate them. He should not try to look too good and try to talk too wise. He should dream, but should not make dreams his master. He should think, but shouldn't make thoughts his aim. He should view success and failure equally. Even when the results of his hard work are destroyed, he should get ready to build them again. He should not tell others about his losses. This is how far we learned in the previous class. Then we can move on to the third stanza. If you can make one heap of all our winnings and risk it one turn of pitch and toss and loss and start again at your beginnings. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, this means collect all your winnings and risk them on one turn of the dice. Heap of all your winnings means is all about your achievements in life. The symbol pitch and toss suggests gambling. He is talking about gambling. If you want to do something, collect all your winnings in one thing and risk it on one particular thing. You may lose the entire thing, but start again without telling anybody about your loss. And lose and start again at your beginnings. And never breath a word about your loss. Never breath means don't tell anybody about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew, and so hold on when there is nothing in you. Continue doing your work even when others have abandoned theirs. Continue to hold on even you have nothing left except your will. You have to trust in your will and you have to continue your hard work. Here heart and nerve means you have to hard work. Sinew means using your strength. Force your heart and nerve means using your physical and mental health. With the support of the will, you have to work hard from the beginning. Okay, then we can move on to the third stanza. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's it. And which is more, you will be a man, my son. This stanza implies keep talking with the crowds but maintain your virtue. Walk with kings but don't lose the common touch. Neither your friends nor your enemies should be able to hurt you. All men should be able to count on your help, but nobody should expect too much from you. You should forgive people who have offended you. If you can do all the above things, the earth and everything in it is yours, and you will then be a man. The last stanza is giving a beautiful message. You can talk with the crowds, but you should not become one of them and lose your virtue, your good things. Even when you walk with kings, you should not lose sight of the ordinary people. If you have king as your friend, then also you have to keep in touch with the ordinary people. You should be beyond getting hurt by your enemies or your friends. All kinds of people should be able to count upon you for the help, but you should forgive and never rush to punish the offender. You have to forgive your offender and never be in a hurry to punish the offender. We must have touch with people from all walks of life, including kings, high class people, and even commoners. Everyone must trust him, and he must be a good friend to others. Such a man will make use of every second he gets in life. If you can do all these things, then you can enjoy this earth and you will become a perfect man. It uses various symbols, comparisons, contrast, and conflicts in this poem. We can discuss that. To make his idea clear, the speaker has used many symbols. There are symbols like pitch and toss. We already discussed pitch and toss. Here is suggested gambling. Force, heart, nerve, and sinew means suggesting gathering of strength. And 60 seconds worth of distance run, suggesting delayed reaction. Okay, 60 seconds worth of a distance run means if we are delaying something to do a prominent thing. There are fine contrasts in triumph and disaster, kings and common people, and friends and foes. There are conflicts in risking it on one turn of pitch and toss. That is also a conflict. Another conflict is loving friends hurting you. That is also a conflict in this poem. If you are getting a question like identify the poetic form, figurative language, and poetic structure, you can write like this. First one is, it is a lyrical poem with the 4 stanzas consists of 4 octaves. Octaves means a group of 8 lines. The poem is in a rhyme, although the rhyming scheme is different in various stanzas. In the first stanza, it is A, then BC, BC, and the other lines. The poet has figurative language with a lot of metaphors, personification, etc. he used. It is a didactic poem, tell us what to do and what not to do to enjoy life and to be a perfect man. You can write like this. Then he is mentioning a lot of personification and metaphors in this poem. Okay, we discussed 1 or 2 in the first and second stanzas. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, he is personifying dreams. That is, dreams are spoken as masters who can control our lives. In this case, dreams assume a human role or quality. Then another one is triumph and disaster, treated as impostors. Will or willpower, which says hold on. Then he is using a lot of metaphors in the poem. Unforgiving minutes is a metaphoric expression as it refers to time that waits for no man. It is like a race where every second is important. Then another one is deal in lies, twisted by knaves, one heap of all your winnings, breath a word, 60-second worth of distance, in which one thing or person is spoken as another. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you, children.